On this episode, do JD and Tyler take advantage of the weather and have their first patio episode while drinking through a Hodge Podge of bourbons. So sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy this episode of the Bourbon Hunters.
Gather round the mic, it's time to unwind. Drinking our bottles, all that we find. With tastings and tales, we're sharing our pours. Tune in each week, there will always be more. Tune in each week, there's lots to hear. Laughter and stories, we're all here to share. We're giving our ratings, they're always fair. Sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet and enjoy.
While you're listening, head over to our website at bourbonhunters.com where you can purchase Bourbon Hunters glassware and products, and sign up for our Patreon, which puts you on the list for single barrel announcements from our private barrel club.
Tune in each week, sit back. Tune in each week, grab a pour. Tune in each week, kick up your feet and enjoy. Kick up your feet and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Dude Poole, and I'm joined by
Tyler Schaefer,
JD Fritches,
and possibly Flying Buckeye if he ever makes it over here. So, tonight we've got a Hodge Podge of items to drink through, and we're just going to talk about some stuff. I mean, Tyler just got back from vacation. I don't think I really got a chance to talk about my vacation too much. Plus, I just had a crazy-ass weekend getting hammered. So we'll talk about that, too.
Nice.
Had the worst headache ever on Sunday morning. And I have not woken up with a headache like that in a long time. You got to stop looking like that because you make me think someone's there.
Walking. There is someone there.
Okay.
Just not Flying Buckeye.
Gotcha.
are they doing mulch?
I don't know what she's doing.
All right. So, before we get started on conversation, we have 4 rows of single barrel strength in the glass. And this is what? OESK. And it is the 55th edition of
Fine Wine and Good Spirits out of Pennsylvania.
Fine Wine and Good Spirits 55th edition, 20% rye mash bill, light spice, October 2022. So, this is a 10-year, 8-month-old bottle.
It's on the higher end of them.
That's pretty impressive. And you found this, and it was sitting around for 3 years in a bottle? You found this?
No, I've had it on my shelf. I just never opened it.
What is wrong with you?
I've had other ones open.
I guess I should have seen the little leather neck tag that it looks different than the new ones.
Someone was in my house recently, and they're like, "So, why do you have so many of like the same bottle open?" And they knew about bourbon, but they didn't really understand single barrels, and I had to basically show them like,
pull out a cigar and say, "Have a seat.
Have a seat.
We're going to have a conversation."
So it was one of the workers working on my house, and he's like, "Yeah, I like bourbon. I have a couple bottles." He had like 3, but he was like, "Why do you have so many of the same thing?" And I'm like, "Well, there's different recipes, then there's different proofs and different ages and different locations."
Well, it's funny because same
and
thing.
they all taste the fucking same or different.
One of our listeners, if they all tasted exactly the same, that'd be a waste of money.
Yeah.
One of our listeners saw a post of like my Russell's wall, and he's like, "Well, why do you have so many?" Basically the same thing. Why do you have so many of the same one? I'm like, "Oh, those are actually not Russell store. They're actual Russell's private picks." And so that kind of went down a little rabbit hole of conversation online. It's always fun to give some information to people, I think, when they ask for it.
Yeah.
Just volunteering it for no reason.
And Russell's has a lot of variation, but they don't have the mash bill differences.
No, not even. No.
As
100%.
Yeah.
Their big difference comes from, location,
Locations.
height in the rick house,
Yeah.
location in the rick house, stuff like that. But different rick house locations for them.
Dude lives in the ghetto, if you haven't figured that out.
100%. I embrace the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
I feel safe because the cops are around.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't hear that, then you should concern yourself.
So I got 2 guns.
Let's, and for those of you not watching, because we're audio only, JD just flexed his biceps. So,
Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. Hey, can you tell me where the beach is?
It's over the.
All right. So
I'm Hans,
God, we've got it in the glass.
and this is Franz.
Jesus, stop! It doesn't get any better.
Good, yeah. Good nose.
Oh yeah.
It does get better. It's in the glass.
You know what? Speaking of in the glass, I am drinking out of our Bourbon Hunters, not our Kenzie Dram. This is an actual Glencairn. It's our first Bourbon Hunters Glencairn. And I actually received today our rocks glass, which is outstanding. I put in a nice square cube, and it fits in the bottom perfectly.
I do like that those are squared.
But then they're rounded at the top,
Yeah.
which was neat. So they're square at the bottom, and then they kind of go up to a rounded top.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the bottom, there's like a little starburst in the bottom, so it's got a little bit of fanciness to it.
Yeah.
So there's the fire truck. All right. Yeah, right there. You're missing it right there.
We
just
didn't
missed
start the fire.
Oh, God. There's always something.
Yeah.
So we are about to nose and drink.
It's a great nose.
What do you guys get on the nose? Anything?
Little orange-sicle. Orange creamsicle.
I get that on the taste. It's like a spicy orange creamsicle. Damn it! I set my water out and I didn't bring it out here.
What a bitch.
That is. We're gonna have to pause and let me go get it after this one. Well, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of flavor.
Could be from the Hyman pour. It's a little hot.
Nah, I mean it's got a lot of flavor.
Oh no, packs a punch.
Yeah.
It drinks hotter than it is. It's only 105 proof.
104.8.
Yeah.
So Tyler, tell us about your trip, your vacation.
So, very long. This was my first official Ohio vacation, a.k.a. Family trip to Hilton Head.
Why is it called an
And
Ohio
So
vacation?
you've never been to Hilton Head before?
No.
I wouldn't call Hilton Head the Ohio destination.
Well, it's funny
I would say more Destin and Myrtle Beach.
So it's funny you say that. Someone just posted a video. It's like, point of view, you grew up in Ohio, and this is where you vacation. And it literally lists Outer Banks, Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head, Destin.
Yeah, I didn't really consider Hilton Head an Ohio
I sent that to my
destination.
brother-in-law. He's like, well, that's just about everywhere. And I'm like, I literally never grew up vacationing at any of those spots.
We're also from Michigan.
But
Yeah.
you also grew up poor, so I mean, there's that.
No, quite the opposite. We went to Miami.
I saw a movie where he's like, more porridge, please.
But no one here goes to. Destin is a little bit more of the newer spot. I feel like.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's not even really Destin, because
Yeah.
Destin sucks.
Yeah, it's like Fort Walton Beach.
Destin sucks, but it's the stuff just east of Destin that Miramar and all these different
Yep.
places, Grayton Beach and
Well, and
Seaside and 30A, all the 30A little towns.
And even to that same kind of point with the Outer Banks, everyone's now going down to like Wrightsville Beach and those areas, like going down a little bit south, still North Carolina and like the coastal towns, but it's not Outer Banks.
Yeah, technically, but I mean.
But I was
it
just
kinda
reading
still
something.
is, really.
Someone else the other day was like, someone recommend like the best beach in North Carolina, and everyone's like, fucking these beaches are now just flooded by Ohioans.
So, give me your rating of. You've been to a decent amount of beaches, right?
Yeah.
What would your rating be of just the overall beach at Hilton Head?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. There's pluses and minuses. The beach itself is so flat.
And so wide.
Yes.
Like
well,
there's a
the
lot
tide
of
goes,
landscape.
Yeah, the tide goes in and out
real
quite
estate.
a bit.
Yeah.
And so it's very wide, like you said. There's not a lot of shells, which can be a really nice thing.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about stepping on them, but you can't go shell searching either.
Yeah. We did that with the kids, and it was fun. You find actually more oyster shells than anything.
Sure.
We did find a beach unicorn, which I had not ever seen one of these alive, which was a starfish. So we caught a starfish in one of the puddles.
And it was alive?
And it was alive.
Oh, neat.
And of all the ocean beach trips I've ever taken, I've never seen one.
Did you guys take it home and eat it?
No, we threw it back.
You picked it up?
Yeah, picked it up, threw it back.
You put it on your face?
Yeah. So
Aliens.
it's incredible for the fact of a couple things.
I figured
Even
out
on
we were good now.
because the tide goes so far in and out, the sand stays. It's compact and it stays cool. So
Yeah.
like Miami and
Where
like
the- where the
Clearwater,
water doesn't get to, it gets super
it's
hot.
so fucking hot.
Yeah.
So unless you're right up on the water, you're like hopping your
yeah.
ass to the fucking
Right. No, I hear what you're
to
saying.
the water. And it's also a really, really good beach for riding a bike and running on
Miami.
and walking.
Yeah, no, Hilton Head.
Hilton Head.
Hilton
So
Head.
yes.
You just brought up Miami.
Yeah.
He was comparing Hilton Head's wet beach that stays cool to Miami's beach that gets really hot. But then he said, but
Yeah,
what's
sorry.
nice about it is that you
Yeah.
can run on it, you can
And
ride a bike because it stays packed and
It's good sand. Again, it's not very shelly. It's good fine sand, but because of that compaction, it's just kind of shit.
it's like dirt sand.
yes, and the
It's
water
like Myrtle
is
beach sand.
yeah,
it's
the
like
water is
Outer Banks sand. Yeah.
murky.
I feel like the water. So my complaint about Hilton Head is it doesn't have any waves.
No, yes,
The waves are. It's
We
so
got some
flat.
when it was
Sure,
windy
you'll-
and stormy,
you'll
but
get
other than that, the
some.
last day it was like a lake.
But you get better waves at Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
you do. And then the other issue I have is that because of how flat it is, you can walk out into the ocean 200 yards and you're still at your knees,
yeah.
Like
Which
it-
is sketchy.
which is I don't like.
Yeah.
And I've never been to Hilton Head without someone getting stung by a jellyfish.
There was a decent amount of jellyfish. None of them had their tentacles.
Right. So you had the little jellies, the
Yes.
little jellies.
Yes. And there was also a lot of hermit crabs, or not the hermit crabs, the horseshoe crabs.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a lot of mini stingrays there too. And you
Yeah.
couldn't see them unless they're like
Moving.
literally right there. And I
Yeah.
was like, nope. And so last July, Hilton had 3 shark bites by like black tips. And that can happen anywhere, but it's just like I'm out.
You're
Past my fucking
that's-
knees, I'm like, I'm
you
out.
are very, very, very like phobic of sharks, right?
Are you?
Yeah,
In
I
the
mean,
ocean.
Yeah, because one, I watch a lot of stuff not around shark bites, but how prevalent they actually are around you. A lot. They're around you a lot, and that's a good thing because they'll never fucking bother you. That's great.
They know
I
you're
just
there,
underst-
but
yes.
they're not going to come to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I understand that, but I'm always just like, dude, what's the fucking risk of like losing a foot or something like that so I can fucking enjoy the shit salt water? Pass.
What if I cut my foot on coral and then they smell the blood?
Yeah,
You know?
maybe.
And then-
Yeah, I'm just like, so
You see,
Yeah.
see any man o' wars?
no, just little
No.
baby
Those
stingrays.
things are pretty cool.
So, we tried something with this is the kids' first long drive. We woke up at midnight on Friday, packed them in the car, hoping that they would pass back out, and we drove the 12 hours with the stops.
so-
they did not go to bed.
Not once.
Theo, my youngest, he passed out for about 3 hours after Tamarack in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Which, have you stopped there
Yeah,
recently?
the Welcome Center. Yeah, it's a pretty nice. little,
it's redone. It's pretty nice. So we stopped there. After that,
There's
he
also
passed
a
out for like 3 years.
Super charging station
Yes,
there for
yep,
Teslas. That's
yep.
why I've stopped there like recently.
So Carter passed out at like 5:30, and I had to piss at like 6:15, and I was like, so they're both asleep, and I pulled into a gas station to piss my brains out, and he like woke up, and since it was slightly light, he was like, it's daytime, time to wake up. So he got like maybe an hour's worth of sleep.
That is crazy.
Yes.
See, when my kids were young, we always left like that, and
Yes.
they would sleep until 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I would not have to stop, but like maybe piss one time. But I hate stopping and letting everyone get out of the car and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
So
So
you didn't do that when they were really, really young?
yeah, I did, and it worked like a champ.
Oh, damn.
I never had an issue. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they would sleep till like 9 a.m.
The way down, it made sense because we couldn't even get into our place till 4. So we didn't care how many times we stopped. The way back, we probably...
You want to just get home.
Yes, but
Yeah.
we lost like an hour and a half by stopping.
Yeah.
You know, like lunchtime, you get out, like stretch your legs. Now, we did read that it's good to let them, with especially such young kids, you're supposed to let them get out and actually...
As adults, it's good too, so you don't get like thrombosis and shit like that. Like it's a good thing to get out.
Little side story on that.
Yeah.
It's incredible how, like, you know, my wife's in the back, obviously dealing with both kids. Well, so she sat between them in the car seats in the back. But she had her phone and was, you know, helping them with the iPads and whatever. But, like...
Quick question.
She just acts like I'm
Does she ever drive?
I don't let her.
I don't either. I don't let my wife drive either.
Well, especially
not
through the mountains. And the way down, it rained in the mountains. So I can never really drive fast.
Yeah.
Even on the way back, it actually rained in the mountains a little bit. But just all of that is very nerve-wracking, and you're fucking white-knuckling it through the fucking West Virginia mountains.
The turnpike,
and,
yeah.
on the turnpike, and on a 2-lane highway with everyone going 70, and it's fucking, you're screaming down the mountains or going up, whatever. And she's just like, she just acted like I was just up there doing nothing. And I'm like,
it's fatiguing.
it's fucking fatiguing.
When
You're
you
fucking
drive,
white-knuckling
Yeah,
it.
when you're driving in a high-stress environment.
And you can't really use cruise control.
No.
You could, but you would drive like 5 under.
And going up the mountain, you're going to be up at 5,000 revolutions.
Yes. Yeah, so it's very, very fatiguing, and mentally too. You're just trying not to.
Because you're on
fucking,
alert the entire time. Yeah, whenever I drive, like when we go to Destin, I always break it up. We always go halfway. We'll go to like south of Nashville, about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we will drive the rest of the way the next day. And so it's like 6.5 hours each day. and we'll leave early we'll leave on Friday so that we can, get to a hotel. Saturday morning we'll leave at around the time to where we time it. We get there about an hour before our check-in.
Yeah.
And then so when I get there, I'm always just cashed.
Yeah.
Well, but because we break it up, I'm not as cashed as when we come home, when we drive straight through.
So my brother-in-law, they stopped, and he was like, "You're gonna be so fucking tired," and I'm like, "Tired for what? We're all gonna be like, you can't get into your house till 4. We ordered pizza, we swam at the pool, and everyone, no matter who it was, passed out at
10 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So
That first night's a wash.
Yeah,
It's like get your groceries, order some pizza.
Yeah.
Check out the area real close, and then you basically just hang out and drink and go to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, that honestly.
So, it was just a long week with the kids. They were 90% really, really good, especially in the drive. They were much, much better than I actually thought that they would be. It's just a lot of work with the 4 and a 2-year-old boys. Like, just a lot of work. And our house, we stayed in Palmetto Dunes. And what we ended up doing is we would pack up the trucks. Someone would drop us off at the beach access, drive back, and then walk. Or if someone wasn't coming, there was a couple of people that didn't always come to the beach.
So they
a couple of the older,
yeah.
But you're still lugging everything down.
Right.
We would go to the beach almost every morning. That was nice for maybe 3 hours, and then we'd do the pool in the afternoon. Go to dinners, and it's just fucking exhausting. Trying to get the kids to nap if the little ones.
I will say I miss vacationing with the kids that age, but I also don't.
Yeah.
Like, I am so glad. Like, my kids are all grown up, and when I go to the beach now, it's like take a cooler with me and my wife's, adult beverages.
Yeah.
Any sunscreen, reading material,
and you just
AirPods, and we're done.
When they're that age, like, you're just fucking on, so that they're not
you
drowning.
Can't not pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't turn off. So
no.
So we when they don't have to nap and they can be a little bit more self-sufficient, and they're better at dinner. Like, it will be a little bit more enjoyable. This was not a
Do your kids
enjoyable time.
Do your kids still nap? You say?
The younger one.
Yeah.
And
How old is he?
He's 2.
Oh,
The
yeah.
4-year-old Carter, he still needs some downtime.
But it's not a true
yeah,
nap.
yeah. It's like, hey, come inside, just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you're not. One of the things. So we had lots of seafood. I'll say this: we went over to one of the days. We went over to Burnt Church Distillery and
I saw your pictures on that.
in Bluffton. Beautiful. I enjoyed their whiskey. It was great. After the fact, they reached out, so they would love to be on the podcast.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, if you have time, come back and I'll give you a tour." We just didn't. But there was a great spot outside of Hilton Head. So if you're looking for
Is it off the island?
Yes, but it's Bluffton. So
Like right.
yeah. So from Hilton Head, it's 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
anything in Hilton Head is
Like you go to Savannah, it's an hour.
yeah. One of the things, as a side note here, in Palmetto Dunes, even to get out of our development was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then to get down to like Coligny and like downtown, it's 20, 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So things were much farther away than we originally thought.
I always stay near Coligny just because for that reason.
Yeah.
And there's a pretty decent little beach right there.
Yeah.
And when I stay there, I generally don't stay on any of the plantations. I usually stay in just an open area.
Yeah.
At an Airbnb that has a nice pool.
We were in an Airbnb house, which was fucking gorgeous, and there was alligators right outside our. There was a little canal that ran right behind us.
Yeah.
There was nothing protecting us, and there was an alligator. I caught a big old
Alligator?
He walked right up to me. It was a painted turtle, probably this big. It's fucking biggest
like,
painted.
can you save me?
No,
There's a big alligator over
he
here.
literally crawled up, and I was like, "Thank you, buddy." And I was like, "Carter, look!" And just fucking walked up. I was like, "Look at this fucking turtle I just got." But there was a couple gators back there. That was cool. But so yeah. Anyway, back to going over to Bluffton.
Then wrap it up so we can move
yeah,
on to Hard and
sorry.
Sweet. No, you're fine.
So we went over. We went over to Bluffton, went to Burnt Church, went over to another bar that had a great bourbon selection.
Do you remember the name?
I don't, but they had a great bourbon selection. And then had a drink there and walked over. Then we went to.
Did you say this was all in Bluffton?
All in Bluffton.
Okay.
Bluffton's a forgotten about place that should be visited for an afternoon.
Yeah.
Most of the places, unfortunately, the bars and stuff don't open till like 4, so probably don't go in the middle of the afternoon.
So go after you've spent a little time in at the
but
pool.
a great little town.
Yeah.
Go over and visit. And then right on the water is Bluffton Oyster Company, and we pulled up to it, and the girls are like, "This is fucking sketchy," and we're like, "It's perfect." That's why it's.
I love hole in the wall
There was
places when I go on vacation.
there's a big old fucking oyster or a
Pearl?
No, it was a big old shrimp boat right off the dock.
Yeah.
And we walk inside, and they had all of their fresh catch, and so we got.
It's probably a place that only locals
oysters.
really know about, or like people that own spots down there.
Yep.
You know.
We got oysters, shrimp, and mussels, and we made a seafood boil. And that was the first time I've ever done that in my life.
You haven't done that
First time
before?
I've ever done it.
Those
And
are
it,
so good.
I love seafood.
I
boil.
shit you not, of all the restaurants, of everything we ate, that was the best meal.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Did it have sausage and stuff in it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Corn?
we did
Corn on the cob, yeah.
so we did andouille, and we also did kielbasa.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Andouille?
Close enough.
Andouille?
How do you say it?
Andouille.
Andouille?
You put the
Yeah.
emphasis on the
Andouille.
and. Yeah.
That's the Alabama way.
So
I've heard it both ways.
we did frozen corn at the end to kind of stop the boil.
Yeah.
When I was at Kroger getting a lot of like the regular ingredients.
Did you make the boil yourself?
Yes,
Oh.
we made the boil ourselves.
See, I've
What
always
seasoning?
gone to restaurants where they sell the boil in a bag,
Yep.
and they separate like, okay, add this at this point, add this at this point, add this at this point, and then you just
we knew we were going to do that, and we
That's
brought
cool.
down a big pot in the boiler.
yeah.
like how you would do a fried turkey for Thanksgiving. We brought that whole thing down.
Yeah.
We put in chopped limes, and then there was was it Old Bay? Maybe it's Old Bay, but there's a
weren't
bag
there.
of
We can't help you
there's a
with
bag of seasoning that you put in there with it
Yeah,
too, with
sure.
all the lemons.
Probably
Once
was.
that gets going, then you put in.
Please tell me you use beer.
We use beer.
Okay.
We use 3 beer cans, and then there's maybe it was Old Bay was the actual.
Old Bay is the seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we dumped.
I would say it's Old Bay. Probably.
We dumped a can and a half of that in there. Again, let it get it boiling, and then in went the potatoes, I think,
Into
and
the boil.
maybe the mushrooms as well, and the sausage. Did those.
Nice.
And then after that, at Kroger, I was talking with the butcher, and he was like, I just asked him for, what the best seasoning to get. And he's like, have you ever done a boil? I was like, no. I knew what to get, but he goes, hey, I have some, what we call bottom of the bag crab legs. It was like 3.5 pounds for like $25.
That's not bad.
Yeah, for crab legs?
Yeah.
King
And-
crab?
No, just like stone crab, whatever. It was more for flavor and just kind of picking. But it was not fucking bad at all. And then,
I just did a JD pour.
yeah.
Holy shit.
So
You can drink it?
I know I can.
frozen crab went in.
Fuck it. Wisdom.
We
came
also
out
we did onions earlier too
Oh.
with the lemons.
in the boil.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You do like a half onion.
Yeah.
And then we did the red potatoes, like I said.
And those onions just fall apart
yes.
when you bring it
Yes.
out of that. Oh. I want to do a boil right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
I'm so upset.
It was very easy. It was very
It
very
is.
easy.
The cork's not all the way in. That's why you're having.
And
trouble.
then we did the shrimp, the mussels, were a great fucking touch.
Oh yeah.
So
Love
Do
mussels.
you guys ever watch Triple D? Diners
Yes,
I've-
yes.
So there was a place in Outer Banks that he went to. It was a gas station that did boils, and like they had a little restaurant type place in the gas station. And so it was like maybe 500 meters from our condo.
Yeah.
So we went there and did a boil. That was my first ever boil, and holy shit, I was just immediately like hooked.
Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah.
They're so good.
The whole
Everything in
thing
it was just so
probably
amazing.
with the seafood and all that probably was $200 for 12 people worth of food, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more.
I mean,
because
that's not
we had
horrible, though.
leftovers.
Think about going to a restaurant
Yeah.
for 12 people. You're going to spend at least $30-$40 each.
Exactly.
So you're talking a lot of money there.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
It was fucking awesome, and we said we're easily going to do that again.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of times there was another stand where we got oysters, and we just brought them back. I think I sent you a picture. We just brought back
Yeah, and
like
you were
a dozen and a
sitting by
half.
the-
We're sitting by the hot tub and just
yeah.
shucking fucking oysters.
That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
That was the Ohio in you
Yeah.
right there. That was an Ohio move.
But they were $16 a dozen?
That's not bad at all.
Dude, we were like, we should go back every
just
fucking
every
day
day.
and get a fucking dozen oysters and
just
shuck them.
And feed them to the wives.
Now, one thing that weirded us out was there was little crabs in the oysters.
Yeah,
Like
that happens.
little dead crabs.
Yeah.
And we're like,
No,
what the
that's-
fuck is this?
That's
so we
when
Googled
you know
it.
you're getting like good.
It's a sign of healthy oysters.
right, that's what I was
Some
gonna say.
people eat those as raw, as a delicacy.
Yeah,
We didn't.
It means
but
they're alive and catching.
yes, but
right. It's like you said. It's a good sign
Yeah.
of healthy oysters.
yes. So yeah, that's
All right,
in the
let's-
gist.
Let's move on. So
Sure.
you had a good trip.
Yeah, great trip.
Now, real quick, you kind of segued. How would you rate Hilton Head Beach?
Compared,
Just in general, A, B, C, D. What would you call it?
it's a B.
Okay.
It's a B.
And what about Hilton Head, the island as a whole?
Oh, so the beach, I would say it's a B for the island. B minus.
So I'm the opposite. I would say the beach to me is a C, and I love the island. Like, I love the community in there and all the little bars and the way everything's hidden back behind trees.
There's a place called The Bank, which is like a beer garden. Awesome fucking spot. We went.
But that's what I
twice.
mean. There's a whole bunch of just like little
There is
places like that.
We would have to go back every fucking year to really experience everything.
Like the touristy trap places like Salty Dog Cafe and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I could give two shits about
Yes.
that. But all the little places there, I love them.
Yeah.
Like, I love the little just, places that
It's
you can
much
go.
more the vegetation, like the trees,
Right,
the vegetation.
They hide the
way more than I thought.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like the Outer Banks.
No,
It's
no.
not.
It's very well hidden. So, like, there's a Walmart there, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
Because it's behind layers of trees.
Yes.
And there's, like, just tons of... There's a Tanger outlet or something there.
Yeah.
And you can see that. But, like, the way that they do it, everything's just kind of hidden.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you're in an island that is just not super populated, even though it is.
Yeah.
The only bad thing about the place is there's one road, really, minus the little bypass that goes around. There's
Decent amount of traffic,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's a decent amount of traffic. But I would say I give it the island a B and the beaches a C.
I have to experience it without kids to really like.
I like getting in the water at the beach. So if you don't like getting in the water, I could understand why you might think it's a higher rating on the beach. I love getting in the water. I love the Outer Banks because it has like really aggressive waves.
Yeah.
And I love Destin because the beach is just ridiculously powdery white snow or snow type sand.
Like
and then the you can get some good waves.
Like Clearwater, St. Pete, that area
Similar, yeah.
felt a little better to me.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like,
but
I
not as
don't
many.
like the beach at Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Everything else about Hilton Head I like.
Yeah.
Nightlife is fun. They have a whole bunch of stuff to do.
We experienced no nightlife, so
You
no
didn't,
idea.
yeah.
Nope.
But they have a lot of neat little bars and places. Like, it's not like clubs. It's like you go and listen to live. Like, I saw Hootie and the Blowfish. That's where I partied with Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Was back in 1994.
We for sure didn't do it justice. Like, and that was my first time there. Brother-in-law, he's like, literally they've been there for 3 years in a row, which isn't anything compared to everyone else from Ohio.
Sure.
But he's like,
You got to start somewhere.
I need to find a condo to buy to Airbnb and go there every single year. And I'm like,
That's not where I would go every year. To me, that's an every maybe fifth or sixth year.
Yeah.
I would rather go to Destin every year.
yeah.
Honestly. And not even like Destin, but the area around Destin.
Yeah, like Fort Walton Beach. And
Yeah, places like
Miramar.
that. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We got Hardin's Creek. This is what, 109 proof?
Yep.
This is Jacob's Well
Yep.
from the Hardin Creek series.
This is the second batch of it, 211 months.
The second year, right?
Yeah.
Year 2 of this.
Yes.
Have they done any more since then?
Nope.
This is the last
I'm
one.
hoping they do it this year again. The Jacob's Well is supposed to come out each year.
But that's not 2024, is it?
It's the most recent one.
I thought that was like 2023.
This came out with the Boston and Frankfurt and Claremont.
That might have been 24, but I thought it was 23. Maybe not. Anyway.
They had a 186 month from 23.
Okay.
This one's 211. So this is 17 years and 6 months.
How many years?
17.
This is 17 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
211 months.
Okay. All right. 12 years would be 144, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Good math.
Yeah.
Let's taste it. What do you guys nose? Anything? The nose on this one blows the Old Forest or the Four Roses away.
I get some butterscotch.
There's age.
Super sweet candy.
There's some tannins in the
Confectioner
nose.
sugar.
There's some confectioner sugar. What did you say?
Some like butterscotch.
Yeah, I could see that. But the nose. I'm not saying the flavor yet, but the nose is. And that Four Roses was really good.
I really enjoyed that.
I did too.
Roses.
It surprised me. It was pleasantly surprising. But the nose on this is enticing.
Mm-hmm.
It's making me want to go in and drink it. And I'm drinking it out of my new Bourbon Hunters Glencairn.
Just like
Isn't that a handsome Glencairn?
I like
It
the
is.
etching.
The way that Bourbon Hunters looks on it, like when you see, like look how thick the words are.
Is it thick with 2 C's?
But like when you look at other ones, for example, This one has nothing, so that's not a good example. This one has just, but like look at Jason's, for example, Mash and Journey or Mash and Drum. Like that, ours is thicker writing. This just stands out really well. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's
like
nice,
it.
right? I mean, these are nice glasses,
That's
guys.
nice.
Go to our Instagram link tree in our bio and buy some glasses, or go to our website, bourbonhunters.com. Buy some glasses. I'm not trying to, I don't care if you buy them, to be honest, but if you really like glasses and glassware, the stuff that Distillery Products is making is very sturdy, very, the etching is good. I've run them through the dishwasher and it never comes off.
Looks like the Breaking Bourbon one.
Well, I mean, they're both Glencairns.
Well, I mean, the etching, as far as how noticeable.
They make theirs too. That's how I found out about this company. Was from Breaking Bourbon. So,
Breaking.
All right, let's taste it. Oh, that age comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some oak.
Something's coming.
Ew. There's some oak for sure coming out on this. Tobacco-y, oaky.
Ooh, yeah.
It's not drying, really.
Sweet.
But there's it's like some sweet oak almost.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. So what's interesting about this is I feel like at the beginning of my bourbon journey, I would not have enjoyed this.
Probably not.
I think it would have been too oaky for me. I would have been like, yeah. This is, I don't know what the best way to describe this is, but I would say that this is probably more of a mature bourbon taste. Like, this isn't something that a newbie is going to, unless you're really big into red wine, maybe. I don't know that a newbie would really, really get into this.
I don't think they would either. But it's funny. With Knob Creek, I think the 15-year is over-oaked, but I think the 18-year is delicious.
Well, yeah, but I feel like same thing happens. So let me take a step back. I was 20 things about to happen in my head at the same time. Elijah Craig 18-year. You can have a very tannic, because they're single barrels, you can have a very tannic bottle that's just not very good. And granted, it's low proof too. But then you can get one that's like that cherry cola bomb that we had when we were down there doing that pick at Heaven Hill.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, Heaven Hill.
Yep.
And I mean, that's how single barrels work. And if you're truly doing single barrels, you're going to get a lot of variety and whatever, especially with an 18-year-old, right? I mean, how many 18-year-olds do you know that are the same?
They're all different to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. They taste younger these days.
Speaking of Schmev and Schmill,
Schmill?
we 3 to 4 weeks we should be getting our Elijah Craig barrel.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really wondering when we're going to get our Jack Daniel, because they made us think that was happening soon.
Yep.
Yeah. Should be any day now.
But I need to send out the message. It should be any day. I need to send out the message to let everyone know who hasn't paid, because we've got about $3,000 still outstanding. And the biggest contributors are sitting at this table with me right now.
No, I'm just like a single contributor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're one of them.
Yeah.
The biggest one's right there.
I'll get you.
He's got like 13 bottles.
Hey, I got a $120 credit.
You do. And I've already subtracted that. Yeah, we went to so let's talk about that. We went to Russell's, or to Wild Turkey, and did a pick with Bourbon Enthusiast.
Yep.
And we got a Russell's barrel.
Always have a good time
And
with James.
that was your first time going to Wild Turkey.
Yeah, that was
for
a special
pick.
day for me.
Yeah. Okay. So talk about that. I've been there plenty of times. I could talk about it all the time. But
So I've
you've
always
never been
there, like the Wild Turkey. I always
Guest
stop
center
there.
and all that visitor center,
Gift
yeah.
center, yeah. And I always love looking over the bridge and sitting out back with a pour, but never been into the rick houses or had an experience where I was actually picking from barrels.
Had you been to the guest center before the upgrade?
The temporary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, so your only experience is the new guest visitor center.
Yep.
And the old pop-up that was
Yes.
running while they were doing the visitor
Which
center.
we
Okay.
learned at our pick that it's the oldest building on the site.
Yeah. And that was
And that's where Jimmy's office is.
yeah. So that is you remember going to the visitor center, the pop-up visitor center, right,
Yes.
Tyler? So that is now part of the tour that Garrett did. That is like the legacy tour that he does, or whatever it's called, where you go through and you can he takes you around, and he's the one who runs that tour now. But they have a little simulation, or whatever you want to call it, reenactment or whatever, of Jimmy's old office.
Yeah.
Sitting in there with they found all this stuff in storage, and he's like, we got to use this. This is great stuff. And so that building now is that used to be the pop-up, is now, it's the launching point for your barrel picks, but it's also part of that tour that Bo Garrett put together.
And for those of you who don't know who Bo Garrett is, he
former band member
of
Montgomery
Gentry. Yep.
Love to get him
Great
on the
guy.
podcast.
Yeah, we should.
Well,
Every time we go there, he's
mean,
just so talkative. He's such a nice guy.
we brought up having him on the podcast, and then Bruce is like, "I'll come on it," and I was like, "Well,
you say it in such a negative way right there.
What do you mean?
Like Bruce was like, "I'll come on it." No, Bruce was like, "I'll come on it."
Well, he was excited about it. He's like, "I'll come on your podcast."
Yeah.
a little bit of twang on there.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm excited. I would, whether we have them at the same time or different times, I would be fine either way. Both of them at the same time or separately. I don't care.
that's what she said.
At the same damn time.
Two chicks at the same time. I don't
Hard
think you
enough
need
time.
$1 million for that.
Hard enough time pleasing one.
To find two chicks that would double up on a guy like me. So, yeah, it would be fun to have either one of them, if not both of them, or separately on the podcast. I know Bruce said he'd come on, so
Yeah.
we can follow up with that. That'd be cool.
Yep, I have his info.
So let's finish up
Oh, wild turkey.
the wild turkey on that your experience.
I've got Rick House dust on one of my white tartan hats, and I don't plan on washing it
Nice.
because I'm a tall guy and walking.
What did you
through.
smack your
I
head
did a couple of
against something?
times. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who have never experienced it, it is probably the most no frills barrel pick you can do.
Yep.
It really is. I mean, there's nothing special about it from the outside looking in. You show up, you walk over to their oldest rick house, you walk in, they have 4 or 5 barrels just sitting out. They've upgraded it a little bit since when I first started going. There's a table there. They put some bottles out of water out for you to drink from. They put some Glencairns out there for you to drink from. And then they just start banging out the bungs and thieving out the bourbon and pouring it into your glass.
Well, it has me the most excited from that experience.
I don't.
When we went outside and Bruce was doing 1A and 2B for us to pick what barrel we were going to pick, and that box truck backed up to the dock there.
Oh, yeah.
And they had 4 barrels from Camp Nelson that were 18 years old. And
Yeah.
they just did a 15-year. So what's on the horizon? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's batched, it could be part of something that's still only 15 years old.
Could you imagine a Russell's 18?
Well, sure. That would be freaking ridiculous. We'd never see it.
Never. Well, I mean, Jason would show it to us.
Maybe, yeah, if he gets it. But no, that was pretty cool. That was really neat. But just to kind of go back to the experience itself, there's no frills about it. But every pick I've been on there, and the only pick you've been on from there, Bruce Russell has led my picks on every one of them. And he's led the only one you've ever done.
He's awesome.
And he was amazing.
Yep.
He was an open book. You asked him questions, he answered them.
Mm-hmm.
It was that simple. It was really cool. He is a character in a good way, like just someone that you could just sit and talk to for hours.
It took about 20 minutes for him to really open up.
Yeah, I think you probably at that point where you're kind of like bourbon royalty and you're almost a celebrity, right? You probably are guarded, until you just kind of get relaxed in a situation. I can't imagine what it's like to be a celebrity, where you're just always waiting for someone to like exploit something about you or take something about you and twist it to make news or whatever. And so I can imagine, he's probably a little guarded for that reason, for one.
Once he feels like he can trust you, then it really opens.
And whether
Yeah.
it's trust or not, but just the comfort,
Yeah.
the comfort. But I see what you're saying. I don't disagree with you. But I'll tell you what, man, every time I've been there and he's done it, which has been every time, he's opened up and he's talked, and he just, you ask him a question, he answered it. Like, if you want to know something about the industry, he tells you. And I just think that's so cool. You know, that's how everyone should be. Like, unless you're giving away mash bills and yeast strains and stuff, who cares?
Yep.
Like, that's the thing that makes bourbon so unique and so special. Probably the same thing as like Scotch and stuff like that, is, you know, the history behind all those. When you have real history, and Wild Turkey has real history, it's really interesting, and it's like you're only adding to the mystique and the lore and the experience for people that are doing these types of things. Like, why be guarded?
Right.
What are you guarding against? I mean, honestly. And he doesn't, and that, I think that adds to it. So for me, knowing that you're on the campus of Wild Turkey, knowing that you're sitting there with third generation, you know, bourbon royalty, and he's an open book.
Yep.
Those things added together just makes it, for whatever reason, just makes it an amazing experience. I've done places like Heaven Hill's little tasting area was neater. Nulu was fun just for a different reason, because you're just in this little warehouse and you're drinking from whatever you want.
He's shooting up the rafters to
just thieve out of something that's like, you know, oh, hey, I've got this thing over here that's about to be hazmat, you know, whatever. And you're just drinking tons of stuff. You know, they're all good for different reasons. Old Forester, they give you that VIP tour before you go and do your pick there. You know, you don't get a tour at Wild Turkey. You just go into the rick house and you do a tasting.
Well, this year's been extra special in the sense of the picks I've been on with you were invited to come with James. You know, we spent time with Steve Nally, you know, at Bardstown. Chris Morris over at Old Forester, and now Bruce Russell at Wild Turkey. This has been a great year, banner year.
And you did a Heaven Hill one with me as well, right? Back in like the winter time of last year or something.
Yeah, where the barrel thing happened.
Yeah. Which is crazy to know that barrel pick that they had was like 240 bottles.
Ours is 84.
And ours is like 84. That's crazy. I mean, after Tartan takes theirs and after we take ours, there's only 58 bottles left.
Do you think it's possible they used some of that barrel in a batching?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think that that's how things work. I do believe that there's a possibility things get mixed up sometimes.
I can see them potentially maybe saying like, hey, we're gonna label half of these something else and give, you know, like,
I don't even think you'd get 140 out of a barrel proof. I don't, at 9 years
how
old.
did James get 280?
Yeah, that's a mistake. I think they didn't batch. I think they mixed two barrels together accidentally. Not mix them.
Did they empty
I think they
well
emptied two barrels.
Or they may have not emptied it from the previous whatever they were doing, and they dumped his into it, and then it was like, oh.
I think that every one of his bottles are single barrels, but it's two separate barrels.
Okay.
That's what I think. And that's why I think you're getting some of the ones that came from that batch of his that taste great, like we remember. We didn't get them, but other people have. And then you're getting some like I had one that tastes like absolute dog shit. And do they do that to like, here's a barrel no one's picking, let's throw it in with this batch? You know, I don't know. Do they do that on purpose? Or, you know, was that an accident? Did something happen? But it's physically impossible to have gotten a 9-year product like, or 8-year, whatever it was, 8 or 9. Yeah. For Heaven Hill to have put out a 9-year product for bourbon enthusiasts that had 240 barrels or bottles. I mean,
it was more than that.
250 bottles, something. Whatever it was the exact number of bottles that you should get out of a 53-gallon barrel.
Only twice
and
in
there's
history.
no way that 9 years you're not going to have any angel share.
Right.
So like that is literally impossible. You lose. There's a certain percentage. It's almost a math equation. You lose a certain percent of the barrel every year, and for it to just have not ever lost any, that's insane. That's crazy. Anyway, I just think it's interesting to me that this gnat just ruined my damn Hardin's Creek.
I drink it anyway.
Look at it.
Yeah, just drink
protein.
it anyway.
Protein, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, you little fucker, get out of there.
You probably get drunker eating than that.
Do you think so? Is that how it works?
I don't know. Whenever I ate the fruit from the hunch punch or the whatever you call it, jungle
hunch punch,
the jungle juice.
I don't think that has anything to do with fucking flies.
No, but the fruit in there, it's extra alcohol.
Are you drunk right now?
No.
Yeah, the jungle juice or what? I don't even. That's not even what we called it. We called it hairy buffalo. But yeah, the fruit, the flies. It's not a fruit fly that you're eating. You're eating fruit. The fruit takes the alcohol. I swear, sometimes. And you're a science major. That's the weird thing. I get this stuff from Tyler. I understand it sometimes from him, but you're a science major.
I just got a text from a number I don't know. Golf tomorrow? ? Well, no.
Just say, who are you? What if it's one of the people that your wife was trying to hook you up with?
Well, from a 99.
It can't hurt to just ask. Yeah, 99.7. All right, Peerless. We got a Peerless bottle. Let's get into a Peerless bottle. We are 49 minutes into this. We've only got two glasses drank in 49 minutes because of Tyler's long-ass-winded fucking Hilton Head story.
Well, that's a first, because usually...
Yes, I know.
I'm interrupted 7,000 million times. I can't actually...
7,000 million times. 7,000 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number.
Yeah. What is that number?
I don't even know that that's a real number. All right, so we've got 2 Peerless bottles here. I think we only do one of them.
I'm going to do the...
We have the Ghost Barrel, and then we have the Bigfoot.
Which one?
I'm going to do the Ghost.
The Ghost Barrel, I believe, is a very short barrel, right? It only had so many bottles. That's the one that is...
It looks like grape juice.
Well, it's darker, for sure.
Yeah.
It was a very short barrel. I really hope that our Elijah Craig pick is a short barrel, and it tastes as good as we thought it did when we tasted it in your weird ass fucking flavored drink.
Can I? This is not great for our
podcast,
but I think everything that we have picked so far,
JD,
has been very, very good. And very hard to select in comparison to some of the other samples that have been with it. If that makes sense.
I don't know what that means.
Like we've had difficulty really nailing down like this was better than this. Like they've all been
very good but different.
Very good in different ways.
Well,
it's like, hey, it's like, what profile do you want?
But here's the thing: we haven't done a barrel pick from the same place more than once, with the exception of Middle West, and one was a rye, and one was a bourbon. So,
but all of the samples that we've had, they've tasted, they've all been very, very good, but very different, and it just depends on which way you wanted to go.
Yeah, you're right. So the only exception to that, I would say, is Jack Daniel's. Where when we were at Jack Daniel's, you weren't there, but JD and I were there. And when we went to Jack Daniel's, one of them was very off profile for Jack Daniel's.
Okay.
One of them.
Was it very good?
But it was very good.
Yeah.
Here's the problem is I don't want to sell a Jack Daniel's or, get people to buy into a Jack Daniel's single barrel and it have no similarity to the Jack Daniel's expectation.
Absolutely.
And so, wouldn't you agree, JD, that was probably up there with the pick that we made, but it was off profile, so we didn't choose it.
Which one?
Jack Daniel's.
Yes. It was more of a Booker's profile to it.
It was, but it was still very good, but it just wasn't Jack Daniel's. It didn't taste like Jack Daniel's.
So, to my other point with that being said, I am still waiting to be like blown out of my seat
by a barrel pick that we did.
By a barrel pick, yes.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but here's the thing:
it's nothing that we've had has been.
But I would argue
they've all been fantastic and fucking great,
and I'm agreeing with you. But my argument to that would be,
it doesn't happen often.
No, but how many barrel picks have you had? You've had a shit ton of private select barrel picks over your course of drinking bourbon.
Correct.
How many of them would you put in that category?
It's a 5%. So yeah, it's a 5% of all the barrel picks I've had.
The benefit and the draw, in my opinion, of barrel picks and single barrels and all that stuff isn't that you're getting blown out of your seat.
Yes, every single time. It's not going to happen.
It's that you're getting something unique.
Yes.
And unique, if that's what blows you out of your seat, that's fine. Yeah. That's great. Because to me, in certain cases, it is what blows me out of my seat.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't mean that in the sense that anything that we've
in a negative way.
Yeah,
no,
it's hard to not come out that way.
You're saying.
And again, we've only done, for us, our group has only done 5 of them, 6 of them so far.
No, we've done more than that.
No, for us,
we've done more than that.
We have
Angels 4 Envy. That have already been bottled, and we have like 6 that have not been bottled yet. 5 that have not been bottled yet.
We've only released.
We've released 4.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Todd Ritter just sent me a picture.
He just friended me on Facebook.
Nice.
I'm his friend.
So yeah, it's confusing on how this is. I'm wording it.
Journey?
Yeah, both of them, Scott and Jason.
There's some stag on the.
So I'm just. It will come.
It'll breathe hard.
It will come where I'm. We have
breathe,
a barrel pick
and breathe heavy.
We have a barrel pick that is just fucking unreal.
Is that Jackie on the end? Did you zoom in all the way?
I can't tell. We're on a podcast, Jackie? So no one can see what you're talking about.
No, I don't think so.
You sure?
I don't know. But I think something like that could potentially come with like a Peerless, like a Penelope. Even the Old Forester pick could have that potential.
To do what?
To just be one of those, like, this is one of the best things I've ever had.
I would put Augusta more so in that category.
Yeah,
Augusta
I would
too.
honestly think if we do that Augusta pick.
I don't think Penelope has that potential.
You don't think
they
so?
Don't have that either.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
You're going to get. Here's the thing.
Russell's Reserve at some point.
Russell's could have that potential.
Russell's has that potential.
I'm hoping that we can pick a Russell's later this year.
I think
it won't be ready.
We could potentially work with Bruce to get something. I think.
Could talk to Ann.
Well, I'm going to reach out to the rep again.
Do it.
Yeah.
No, reach out to Ann.
All right.
The Campari.
That's one where they're not going to want to jeopardize anything. Just
I don't know what that means.
Selling it on the side type thing.
We don't sell it on the side. We're a club.
Well, I know.
That's not selling on the side.
We don't sell anything on the side.
That's not even legal, man.
Oh, no, it's not.
So this smells good. This is a Mash and Journey pick. This is a Peerless Bourbon. It is, we all poured the same one, right? We did the Ghost Barrel, which is the short barrel that he had. And it is, what was the proof on this? Did you look? 117.2, which is pretty impressive for Peerless, actually. That's pretty high for them. What do you get on the nose?
A heavy red fruit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like plum,
yeah. There's definitely something.
Pomegranate.
It's a dark fruitiness, and there's
pomegranate.
But there's definitely the influence of oak happening, or the barrel happening on this, big time.
It would be so good to do a Peerless pick.
I'm sure we could do one if we wanted to.
Yeah. I think we've just done so many this year.
Yeah, we've got a plan.
Yeah, this fall with whatever we pick, that won't be ready until 2026.
Well, the Knob Creek won't be till 2026.
Yeah,
the one that you're talking about with Augusta will most likely not be till 2026. That's late enough. If we get the Lux Rowan in,
yeah. And by the way, that
probably wouldn't be till 2026.
If we do both of the Lux Rows, there may be a chance that one of those could be a Penelope. We could ask for one of those to be Penelope.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I like Ezra. I like Rebel.
Yeah.
Penelope has that might be a little tougher for us to get rid of.
If it's a Penelope estate, I'll be all for it. But
it depends on. I mean, there's 7,000 different Penelopes.
Right.
So.
Well, you know the estate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Project
If it's
X.
something like that.
I don't know it in the biblical sense, but I know the estate. Yes.
Yes. The estate that is.
All right. Let's actually get back to some bourbon here. We got a 1-star review from
recently?
someone, semi recently, of someone who was like, obviously didn't read our description, which is basically people talking about their lives and topical events while drinking bourbon. That's the point of our podcast.
Yeah.
And they were like, guys, get back to the bourbon. You guys are ADHD or what? I'm like, that's exactly
I remember that one.
That's exactly what our
That's what makes us.
but that's what our podcast is.
what
It's
makes
not,
people actually
we're
listen.
not a bourbon podcast as much as we're a lifestyle
Bullshitter.
podcast where we talk about bourbon.
If we just talk about bourbon, we'd be like Bourbon Real Talk.
We'd be like everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. We'd be a
Well, Mashup
far
talks
worse.
about life stuff
Yes,
too.
they do too.
We'd be a far worse.
They've
version
copied
of-
us pretty well
Yes.
of everyone.
since we were around way before them.
But getting to know them, they're really, really good
no,
people.
I'm sure they are.
And by the way, for that
Listen,
1-star
I love
review,
Anthony. Anthony's
Yeah.
awesome.
we have
Kenny's just as cool.
we
I
have
haven't met any of them, except for Anthony.
300,000 downloads.
Yeah.
We just
No.
hit 300,000 downloads.
Yeah, we did today.
So whoever gave us a 1-star review,
You are one of 300,000.
yeah. Well, not one of 300,000, but probably like one of 10 that have downloaded.
Yeah, you're responsible of our 320 some episodes. You're responsible for 10 downloads.
Yeah, yeah. I need to go through and download.
Yeah, that'd
Give
be
us
nice.
another.
That'd
Give us
be
another
nice.
like 10.
Give us another 312
Yeah.
to make up for the 10 that you've already downloaded.
Yeah.
There's
This
like
guy.
a fruity Greek yogurtness to this.
It's good. It's got a really good viscosity.
Greek yogurt. I don't know that I would ever think of a bourbon as like, ooh, Greek yogurt. The nose on this is so ridiculous. It's very oaky, but like you said, that dark fruit, and then the taste of it. There's a lot going on. This is really good.
I didn't get to share my favorite beach story. Well,
Yeah,
everybody was
go for it.
Holy fuck!
And we excluded you
Buckle
from.
up.
No, it's fine.
Because he hasn't been on a vacation recently.
You do need to go to the beach.
Yeah, for sure. You know, my favorite beach has always been up in Petoskey.
Yes.
Because as a kid growing up, I had no more fun than looking for Petoskey stones.
Speaking of Petoskey,
Did you get
guess
cherry on this at all?
I didn't try it.
guess where we had ice cream in Hilton Head.
Petoskey.
Speaking of Petoskey, guess where we had ice cream in Hilton Head? It's the greatest of all time. Not ice cream places, but just candies.
The greatest candies of all time.
Think of Michigan, Petoskey.
I mean, it's all cherries up there.
Kilwins.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah. What'd she ask?
She asked if I gave Bella her medicine, which is due at 8. It's 8:20. No, I haven't.
So Kilwins is a Michigan-founded.
Yes, they're all around here too.
Yeah. Oh well, there's 2 in Ohio. They're not all around. There's 2 in Ohio.
Well, they're both right around
Yes,
here.
they're both in Columbus.
No, but they're all right around here too.
So they are known for their fudge and their chocolate candies.
Well, and the nice thing is
but they have ice cream. They have really good ice cream.
But they
too.
also pack their own fudge. I've heard.
Yes. They have candied apples, all that stuff. So
I know Kilwins for sure.
yes, Kilwins fucks. It's a very, very good.
Does it slap?
It fucks.
Does it slap?
It doesn't just slap; it fucks.
Yeah.
Petoskey stones were always fun hunting for
Yes.
them. But I was over in the Holland region, Lake Michigan, and Conrad would have been about 5 at this point, and Brody would have been 7. And Conrad ran back to the blanket where me and at my time girlfriend were laying, and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom." I was like, I just held up a 1 or a 2, how dire is this,
Yeah.
And he was like, 1. It's like, just go out into the lake like everyone
fucking
else and piss. He runs down there. He stops at the water edge, drops trowel, and starts pissing into the water. Yeah.
Hey, that sounds like your
Carter,
father-in-law at your wedding.
Yeah. Carter pissed on the fucking pool deck through his fucking shorts.
Your father-in-law pissed in the ocean in his slacks at your wedding.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people did.
I don't think a bunch of people did that. I think one person did that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I remember one person doing it and it being a big deal when it was happening and him making a big deal of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was so drunk.
We were all fucking shit.
That was an amazing. Listen, I'm not a fan of destination weddings. The exception is yours.
That was an insane time.
We had a blast. Like we were talking about it the other day.
My buddy cooked a fucking crab in a coffee pot for your room. Yes, he caught a crab. He boiled it
in a coffee pot.
In his fucking room at 3 a.m.
I was showing pictures of our.
I think they ate it.
Catamaran tour.
Yes.
Oh God, that was so fun. We had so much fun.
Oh, that turned into that was like a mellow catamaran,
and then it turned into
booze
a party.
cruise, and then it was a fucking rave.
It was, which it was amazing.
Yeah.
And not only that, I was in some of the best shape I've been in my life, and that was the Speedo.
Yeah, the Speedo phase.
The Speedo. Me and AJ had a Speedo.
But I also
bromance.
I liked sandals all inclusive. Like I thought
it was good.
They did
and
great.
You also did the Butler.
The Butler room.
Yeah, we did too. That was
the
ridiculous.
zero tipping outside of the Butler, but like the zero fucking tipping.
Yeah, everything was all inclusive. It was ridiculous. Now we tip too, but my God, this bourbon's good.
Yeah. I was just thinking if this was about 20 proof points higher, it would give GTS a run for its money.
I think it.
Well, that would be 137.
Gives GTS a run for its money right now, with it being where it is. This is.
I just think
good.
you'd be able to tell the difference because Peerless being lower proof points.
This is very good.
It's extremely good, and it's got that nice cherry on there.
So,
when's the last time you guys have done a?
Look at those strapping men.
Oh, dude, that water. So, I tell people this all the time, and one of the things that we utilize the Butler for is the night before. They would put a thing on your room.
Oh wow!
Yeah. They'd put a thing in your room, and you would select your breakfast. Now, you can go to any of the restaurants, but you could also get breakfast brought to you. So we would have our breakfast ordered and delivered to us at 7:30, no matter how hungover we were.
That was a great hack. I did not do that. I wish I would have.
So they would bring our breakfast every single morning and put it on our patio. Jillian and I would go out there in our robes. We'd eat whatever we could fucking stomach down, hungover. And then we would tell our butler, hey, we want chairs down at the beach, and we want a pot of coffee and mimosas. And we want that ready by
or a cooler of
this,
whatever you
wanted.
And they'd have it sitting down there.
Yes,
and you'd have
and
a
we
spot.
said we want it 8:00. So 7:30 we would have our breakfast. Then we'd go inside. We'd change into our swimsuits, put sunscreen on, whatever. We'd walk down to the beach.
Did
8:00.
Remember to put on sunscreen?
Oh, yeah. No.
That's what I'm saying. She got so sunburned. Remember?
This is the first, and I gave her shit. I said, this is the first trip that Jillian, as an esthetician, did not get burned. This last time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
So it is.
It was so
every
funny
single time
we were in Jamaica like 3 days. And then she comes out and she's a lobster.
And she always gives everyone shit about putting on sunscreen. And every single trip we go on, she's a fucking lobster.
But if you look at me, like I am dark as can be. Like I don't burn. I just don't. Like I might burn if I don't do anything. I might burn possibly like, the very first time. But generally speaking, I don't burn.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I didn't get burned this trip either. It was a good sun too.
One of my favorite pictures ever from the catamaran. You got Tony, me, and Trina.
Yeah.
And your brother's way off in the distance there.
Yeah.
But look at this picture right here. We're on the catamaran cruise. We're drunk as can be. And I'm like Trina's drunk. Tony's drunk under the can. That's the best part. Like, that's a great picture,
I always
is it
forget
not?
fucking Tony and Mark came.
Well, and that's why I was like, Tony, you didn't know Tyler at the time. How did you end up coming? And he's like, because he was at the gym. You were at Project Lift, and you were just trying to get as many people to come, for your extra.
I was like, Tony has money. He's single.
And so him and Mark end up rooming
They
together.
shacked up. Yes.
Oh my God, that was such a funny.
There's a bunch of people that just shacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun trip.
25 or 26 rooms.
I have never been a fan of destination weddings, but that was my exception.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that so much. My wife enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed that. That was such a fun trip.
Most of the time, it's like 12 people, and you're like, or just like whatever.
Like
we had
5 too many.
We had 50.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, and that was I think what makes it even more memorable. It was the year before COVID.
Yes.
So that was like almost all of our last blowouts
Yes.
before COVID happened, and we were all locked down for a year.
It might have been.
It was 2019. No, it was 2019. It was 2019 Memorial.
No, I just celebrated.
It was
6
2019.
years. Maybe.
Yes. You did just celebrate 6 years because it was 2019 Memorial Day.
Relax.
Don't fucking get caught up on that shit. Your wife is going to fucking...
No, she
probably won't care.
Yeah, she won't care.
My wife has no idea. Every time she's asked how long we've been married, she looks at me. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, this is what girls know. But she does not know. She has no idea. It's so funny.
I need to go back to the Caribbean.
We were set up to go back.
We're just waiting on your fucking...
Me?
Yeah, we're waiting on your Hard Rock.
We can go whenever we want.
Money. We're waiting on your
Hard Rock money. It's just, we just need to fucking book it.
So I will say...
Just go.
I will say...
Punta Cana, I don't care.
We do want to do... either a 10-year reunion, but also I think Jillian's 40th might come first.
How old is she now?
37. So I think her 40th would come first.
Well, when's her birthday?
It's October. So we would probably
still go
in the spring.
This year.
Yes.
In 2025.
Yes.
So 39, 40.
Yeah.
So 2027.
But that would be like a bigger...
Let's do it. Let's do it 2027. Yes. Let's get as many people as we can go.
Yeah.
Do it as almost like a reunion for your wedding.
You said 2027?
2027.
So I have time to get in the Speedo body?
Yes, hopefully. Listen, here, treat it like a European.
Yeah.
Europeans don't care if they're in good shape. They just wear Speedos regardless.
Well, I want to get in good shape.
And the older you get, the more Speedo-ish you become.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Europeans.
And the more accepting it is?
Yes.
So next year... I found a Hilton in the Dominican that it has good reviews, and I can use points there.
You love Hilton.
Well, I just use that for work.
That's where we stay in.
And it's an all.
I get it, but
it's an all inclusive.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll allow that.
The actual dollar amount is like in May. It's like $380 a night for the room.
That's like a
soft great
penis.
deal.
You can't.
And it's a family. It's a family. It has a family on one side and adults only on the other.
Okay. I don't want family. Yes. I want adults only.
But I can use
not for swing.
I can use my points in my rooms, and I just have to pay for the flight. So I think we might do that next May.
Let's do a 2027 trip. And let's do it as a reunion. We'll treat it as a Jillian 40th birthday, but also as a reunion of your wedding.
Of the wedding.
And we'll invite some people that weren't originally at your wedding.
It doesn't matter. We don't there is no like the first time, there's no
so upset.
List. It's whoever wants to come.
What happened that we didn't do your last reunion?
Last year. Oh, well, we ended up getting a house.
Oh, you bought the house.
Yes. Or else we would.
I was so upset because I'd already paid for it.
And
I'd already paid for mine.
Well, and then you lost your job.
But I'd already paid for it.
Yes.
So I was okay still going.
Yes.
Because I'd already paid for everything.
Oh, you actually paid
everything.
Because we actually had reservations. We just didn't pay.
No, I had already paid.
Oh, okay.
I paid for it all up front.
And we didn't realize this, but after the fact, we actually realized we had money to actually go from our house sale.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. But you didn't. But then you didn't have a job, so you're like, I'm
paid.
good that I had.
I'd already paid.
But you got it all back.
I did.
And you were at the time. You're like, I'm glad that I had that.
I am, but I was fine going.
In hindsight, you were fine.
In hindsight, I would have been fine going either way.
Yes.
Like either way, either thing would have been fine. Let's do it again. Let's set it up. Give us a block somewhere. Let's fucking do it. I want to go. Let's invite Jason. Let's invite, let's invite everybody. Let's get.
They're all invited.
No, but let's literally invite them all.
Yeah.
Don't forget 4th of July, my house.
Yeah, there's a chance that I'm staying
pull
home.
Your bullshit.
Well,
Gabby Barrett is playing.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
There's a chance
she's a country
that
singer.
I'm not going to go to Michigan this year.
Yes, don't go to Michigan. Gabby Barrett's playing over here this year. She announced
4th of July.
4th of July.
Who else?
Who else needs to be there?
That's true.
This is my backyard.
I know.
Gabby Barrett's playing in my backyard. So come on over, have a drink. So real quick, guys, I know that we're just way segued. If you're still listening,
the 5 of you.
This episode, I wanted to announce that we are doing. Thank you. We are doing our first bottle share get together for the Bourbon Hunters Patreon is going to be in Louisville on December 6th, I believe. Saturday, whatever it is. I'm going to try to get a block of hotels for people to get. I'm going to call this week and try to get that all set up. So look on our Patreon for information about that.
It's a badass Airbnb.
The Airbnb is going to be really cool. The way we're switching up how we're doing it this year, we're going to do a bottle share. I'm going to probably bring one bottle from all of our picks to this so that everyone can see it.
That'd be cool.
And have a drink. And everyone's going to bring a bottle that comes. We're going to try to get some guests like John Waddle and different places, people like that, just to come. And maybe we'll get some experimental things, some peerless experimental things, some whatever.
I'm not going to let Steve Nally off the hook.
No, don't. But what I'm really trying to do is set up a situation where we do a get together here in Columbus, middle of the year, and then a get together on our Bourbon Blitz, day 2 of our Bourbon Blitz, where you can go do whatever you want. Go visit wherever you want, but then in the evening, come hang out with us. And we're going to try to do like a bottle share. We're going to try to do a cookout, all that kind of stuff. Details coming, but pay attention to the Patreon because I think we're going to announce that here in the next 2 or 3 weeks so that you have enough time to plan for it.
Mm-hmm. Kenny and Anthony are coming this year.
Good. I hope so. I want to get as many people as we can. And just make it a bourbon community type of thing. I'd love to get the Black and Brown to come up, but I know they do their thing, their own thing, like a month before that, so they may not be able to. But I'm trying to get as many people to come up as possible and just hang out. I'm going to get a block of rooms at a hotel nearby where we're staying.
I'm going to try and get Greg Metz.
We're in the Nulu area. So it's probably the coolest place we've stayed. Woodford was up there.
Yeah.
But I think this place is pretty cool too. And its location, because it's in Louisville, is going to be a little bit better, in my opinion. But if you guys have seen the pictures, it's a really neat looking place.
No, it's really, really happening.
That being said, pay attention. See if it's something you want to do. If you're on our Patreon, you'll get invitations to this. with a link to a hotel block that you could potentially to reserve. But anything else you guys want to add before we head off here?
Maker's Mark, there's no word yet. Jack should be any day now. Elijah Craig, 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, this is going to be another 8 days from now. But, yes, those things may be answered by then. But as of today, when we're recording this, all of what you said is true.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. I know we're an hour and 20 minutes in, so I apologize. We got a little long-winded. We got a little... deep in the deep in the tooth. That's
deep
not
in
how
the
you say
guts.
It. Something. Anyway, tune in next week. Hopefully, I was going to see if we can go up to Jason's next week and possibly do that blind he was talking about.
That'd be fun.
I won't be here, but enjoy it.
That's perfect timing.
I'll be in Mexico.
Oh, so that'll be perfect because every time we go up to Jason's, you're never around.
will be in the tequila capital of the world.
What is that?
Tequila, Mexico.
You'll be in Tequila, Mexico?
Yes.
That's awesome. I cannot wait for stories for that. So 2 weeks from now, we'll get stories from that.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you for joining in on yet another Hunt for Great Bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you don't, leave us some constructive criticism in the review so that we can better improve our show. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.
Tune in each week, sit back. Tune in each week, grab a pour. Tune in each week, kick up your feet and enjoy. Kick up your feet and enjoy.
The Bourbon Hunters podcast has been craft distilled, produced, recorded, and edited by Dude Pool. For any feedback, questions, or episode ideas, please reach out to info@bourbonhunters.com.